The Square Ball Podcast.
Hello and welcome to the show. It's another update from The Square Ball. With me is Michael Normanton and Rob Conlon. But first, of course, we need to talk about Levi Solicitors, who sponsor the show. Michael, tell us some stuff about Levi Solicitors, please.
What do you want to know?
Well, we know you've got your wills, your probate, your conveyancing. So we don't need to cover that off just now. Give me something else that they do that our listeners can get a discount on.
They do residential property disputes.
Well, please tell me in incredibly specific detail what that means.
If you've got a residential property and there's a dispute,
Like what?
around it, I don't know, fences,
Access?
access is good, yeah. Access,
Doing his job for him. Go on.
deeds,
Yep.
bits, borders, that sort of stuff.
Drains?
Drains, probably, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the listener should probably ask Levi Solicitors for the specifics around the detail.
If it's a residential property dispute, speak to them.
Yeah, and where can you go to get a 10% discount?
levisolicitors.co.uk/thesquareball.
Absolutely. It was professional today. Absolutely beautiful. Right, we've got quite a lot to get through today, but I think the first place to start, unfortunately, has to be Tuesday again. So we've had a couple of days to think about it. The news or the result was maybe softened a little bit by last night, which we'll talk about in a second as well, but probably not really because we kind of just look at our own stuff. Michael, you were there. Mm-hmm. We heard the voice note came in from your walk back to the car on Tuesday night. 48 hours down the line, what are your reflections on Tuesday? Yeah,
it was really bad. It's weird because we undoubtedly deserved to win the game and had enough chances to win it. Watching it showed that, and the stats showed it. But at the same time, we were terrible.
Yeah,
and the lack of urgency and ideas was really pretty concerning. Like, it was only really when we made subs that anything looked like happening. The Calvert-Lewin stuff, I've seen him getting a bit of stick. I'm willing to give him a lot of slack, to be honest, at this stage, because he's not. It's his first kicking of a football in a match since leaving Everton, isn't it? Like, he's not had any pre-season matches, and admittedly, it should have been a nice soft start for him, and he should still be able to hit a penalty. But come on, I feel like he's due a bit of slack on that. But as for the rest of it, it was all pretty concerning, wasn't it?
It was, and it felt like, watching it anyway, I wasn't there. I wasn't in the studio with the guys for the match ball either. But sat at home watching it, big empty stand behind. The way we were playing, it just looked like a pre-season game. It looked like we were warming up for something. It's like, no, this is the fucking game.
It felt entirely like a pre-season game. It was weird. I've been to a few games at Hillsborough, including a pre-season game actually, which didn't feel anything like as weird as this. Because just walking to the ground and stuff, it was, half an hour to kick off, and you're like, there's no one here. Like, yeah. It's just a weird feeling. All you could see on the streets were Leeds fans, basically.
Yeah.
It was sort of a home game, but then there weren't enough people. But then Hillsborough's quite a big stadium, and then you got in there, and it was just, you just greeted with empty space and absolutely no atmosphere. It was really strange.
I think the lack of urgency that you just mentioned was probably the most concerning thing, because it was like a pre-season friendly, but we've seen Leeds play with more urgency in pre-season friendlies under Farke, and I am usually like, the starts we should have won, blah, 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 but I just can't look past they were playing a team of children, and regardless of whether we rotated or not, that team was far, far, far more than good enough to have beaten them with just any slight semblance of urgency. And I thought Farke's post-match presser or whatever interview it was, where it was like, we've not been established in the Premier League for 30 years. It's still a tough game away at a championship club. It's like, no, you can't. If Jesse Marsh had said that, or if Neil Warnock could have said that we'd have absolutely torn them to shreds. And when he's talking about, that we rotated the team and it was all disjointed, it was going to be like that. It's like, well, why did you do it then, mate? Like,
and that team was also
exactly,
changed.
yeah.
That's the thing.
It's just,
it wasn't a Premier League team coming up against like a very well drilled Preston side or something, was it? It was. I mean, if you look at that team in a few years' time, the Sheffield Wednesday team, it's likely, given how much it was rotated and how young that team was, it's likely that half of that team will be in non-league or something, because that's the way it tends to go in football, isn't it? You get players who may be around a bigger team at the age of sort of 18, 19, but then they don't get a contract, they drop down, they play in the conference, whatever. Like, it'll look worse, I think, in time, will that defeat, because you'll be able to look at that, go through that team in the same way as we go through some of our Premier League benches, and you go, but like Stuart McKinstry, we were bringing Stuart McKinstry and Tyler Roberts on. It's no wonder we got relegated. you look at that Sheffield Wednesday team and go, oh God, he plays for Guiseley now. And he was brilliant that night against Leeds.
Well, I was looking at when they announced their team on Twitter, I was looking at some of their replies, and there were Sheffield Wednesday fans in the replies having to explain who the players were to other Sheffield Wednesday fans. It's like, oh no, this guy, we signed him for the under-21s this summer. Yeah, he's not played yet. And it's like we were saying on the match ball, half the team didn't have Wikipedia pages, and it's just like, you just can't lose that game. No. Quite frankly, I don't think that's been entitled either. I think you look at the team Leeds put out, and we should have won that game. And I know Farke's got a load of stick, which, like I said on the match ball, I'm a big Farke defender, but I think he deserved it after that. And I think those players deserve a load of stick as well. Like, it is very concerning. It's not, you don't have to completely write off the season off the back of it, but you can't look at that and not go anything other than fucking hell.
Yeah. And to the concerns against Arsenal were our players are not good enough for this level, probably legitimate against Arsenal. But then there's no reason that Gruev and Pirro can't look good against some children. All of a sudden, this should be the point at which it resets, and you go, oh, well, at last, we're back to last season when we can just bully a much worse team. And we didn't. It was, like I said, I'm struggling to think of much fluent play other than, the first half, did we create much? I'm not sure we did.
Some like half chances, weren't they, I guess? Or there was opportunities to, I was thinking this morning actually, was it Okafor went down the left and he just needed to roll it across for Nemetri to have a tap in, and he cut it back instead. And a few scrappy half chances and stuff like that. But and missing all 3 penalties just really it's just ridiculous.
That was so predictable though.
They were bad pens. I've not seen them back. But
when did you leave? Were you part of the exodus when Sean Longstaff was stepping up?
No, I wasn't. I did stay to watch it, but I didn't actually know this until my mate said afterwards that some Longstaff's family were behind us. So I'm kind of glad I didn't get shouty about him. And obviously I was on my best behaviour about Brendy too, because Milana was there.
Thank God he played well.
Yeah, again, we paid £25 million for him. Why are you not better?
Yeah, mad. Did anyone come out of it with any semblance of glory, respect? And we're going to come on to likes and dislikes later on in the show. The only thing that I can think of was a little bit of link up between Nonto and Bogle. Bogle obviously got the goal, but that was the only time that we looked like the grown-ups on the pitch.
Yeah, those two.
Bogle looks like our best attacker, which is, again, concerning. I think I mentioned on my show a few weeks back that it does feel like a bit with our transfer business, which we'll get onto later, but it feels like they've had to cross a load of names off the top of the list and then further and further down. And then you watch the game the other night and it's like, it does look like that in many ways.
Is there a tiny little saving grace that is, if you remember this time last year, we lost heavily to Middlesbrough and we were writing people, or not necessarily writing them off, but we had concerns around Bogle and he's turned out to be a really important part of the team. Can this still go okay from here, or was a decent fighty Middlesbrough team a completely different prospect to Sheffield children? And so can we compare them, is what I'm saying? Like last year and did well.
It did, and that was very concerning. And we did come out of that go like the start of last season. We were saying, I'm not sure about Bogle, and like Joe Rothwell, what's he really going to do?
And we were losing Rutter as well that night.
Yeah,
one of our best players.
But at the same time, that Middlesbrough team, I think they rotated it a bit, but it was still a fairly decent side. That Sheffield Wednesday team would finish bottom of the Championship. Yeah, if they put that team out, I think they would probably get about 20 points or something.
I think they'd probably get relegated from League One.
Yeah, like well, you see when we've rotated, well not rotated, when we've had games against opposition in the whatever it is, the Johnston's Paint, Checker Trade, whatever it's called now. Like our children get beaten by sort of lower league opposition quite easily.
Yeah.
So yeah, they probably would. You can't win anything with kids. Or indeed stay up with them, but they did the other night.
I was just trying to find something to cling on to. You know, could it be okay? And you know, it's still a very, very small sample size, but it wasn't good last night. On Tuesday, but last night made it a little bit better. That was funny, wasn't it? Manchester United Football Club.
It was. I've already started watching a few of the clips.
I bet it's golden. I bet it's golden, but I bet they're all just saying the same thing. Hammer him out.
The best argument I heard someone making last night was he would have already been sacked if at any point it had been better than this. But because it's never been good under him,
right?
People have just adjusted to it as like being normal. Saying if it had had a good start, and they'd been up there and then they were dropping back down again, he'd definitely be sacked. But because it's just ticked along at this low level of never managing to win more than a couple of games in a row, everyone's like, oh, well, it's not clicked yet.
And ever since he's come in, he's just said how shit they are as well, and how crap all the players are, and how rubbish the job he's doing as well. It's quite remarkable. That was the moment. It's something like 24 hours to decompress from the Leeds game, I think. So I was just so angry with it. But it was, I'd looked on Twitter and saw Grimsby had scored. So I put the game on the TV and assumed that my TV was slightly behind because it was just a goal, the ball got into the net. I was like, all right, that's the goal. Nice, I'll get to see it back. And then the score flashed on the screen. I was like, they've scored again. This is amazing. So yeah, that did really cheer me up.
Yeah. With some unbelievable goalkeeping yet again.
Oh, yes.
He's good, isn't he?
He's great.
It does make you feel a bit better about our goalkeeping situation, doesn't it? That they've spent like billions of pounds on their squad over the last decade, and they still have. Well, Tom Heaton who's their sort of Scott Carson has been signed to fill a gap. Alex Cairns kind of goalkeeper is now their best goalkeeper.
Yeah. The guy who was brought in as an admin exercise in homegrown players is now the guy that they're relying on to stay up.
We may finish the season with Alex Cairns in net.
And Johnny Howson in midfield.
Ooh. We've not talked about Carl Darlow, have we? Bloody, I will say from in the ground, because it's the far end and I was quite low down, so I didn't get a good view of that goal. It didn't look good on a second viewing, that did it?
It's not great.
Didn't look good on the first viewing, second viewing, third viewing. It never gets better.
Well, I wasn't sure what had happened in the ground. It was just like, oh, it's gone in somehow. Like I kind of assumed there was something more to it than that, like maybe a deflection or like
there was many deflections off various parts of Carl Dallow's physique.
I think that's where Farke got that wrong as well. I would have played Perry.
Yeah.
Goalkeepers don't get tired.
He just needed the confidence. He just conceded 5 goals to 5 shots on target. Yeah. I mean, he might have just conceded that himself. Who knows?
Just play him and give him a game, behind. I don't know what the team will be at the weekend, but give him a game with 2 different centre backs and let him develop a bit of a relationship there and try and build something. Putting Darlow in just seemed. I wouldn't have done it before, and having seen the goal back, maybe don't. And
now the curse is confirmed as well with Carl Darlow in the League Cup. A couple of years ago, was it, against Salford, yes, where he arm-megged himself. He's not great, and it's going to be interesting how. I mean, we're going to speak to Bryn Law tomorrow, previewing Newcastle. I'm going to talk to Rob as well about an article he wrote in the magazine and try and link that to the Newcastle game as well. But it's going to be interesting to see what Farke does at the weekend in terms of team selection. We know that Tanaka's out as well, but it's going to be it has the potential to be a tough afternoon, and I think that as an absolute bottom line, we just need to see some energy and some tenacity and just something that has been wildly missing in Sheffield and in London.
Just someone who can pass the ball forward or dribble it forward as well.
Yeah. Progression.
I think Longstaff and Grove are probably quite similar in that they're both capable of just picking it up and doing some tidy bits, knocking it sideways and stuff. But when you've got those two and then Pirro in front of them, who also was terrible, like just nothing happened in the middle of the park. It was the only chance of anything happening was going out wide. And it felt a little bit like Farke's first season when we had Grove and Kamara together in the middle, and it was just those two passing it to each other and to the centre backs and just rounding little circles in their own half. Like, as much as Rangers fans may have been willing to donate him this week, Joe Rothwell would have probably meant we didn't lose that game because he'd have actually just made something happen. Yeah. Although he is a fat bastard, according to Rangers fans now. So
beetroot red.
So maybe not.
Fat bastard. Cool. Let's move on from Leicester. The narrative shifts on as it will do across the weekend. But with there's some news
from Leicester.
Did I say Leicester?
You did say Leicester.
Sheffield Wednesday.
Sheffield Wednesday.
We're moving on to Leicester.
Are we?
And who we signed from there.
James
That's
Justin.
why I just read it.
That's why you've done it.
I'm so sorry. So moving on to Leicester, we touched on it on propaganda, but yeah, James Justin's come in, 8 million quid, 2 million add-ons. Where do we sit on this, Rob? What's your opinion of this transfer?
I mean, it's fine, isn't it?
I think so.
It's very boring and sensible. We needed some fullback cover. He plays both sides. I know there's some talk about the fee and complaints about that because he had a year left on his deal, but I just sort of think £8 million doesn't get you much anyway these days. It seems like that's what these players cost. I know he's not been great the last couple of years at Leicester, has he? I think injury's been a part of that, but it's not like we signed him to replace Bogle. It's just if anything happens to Bogle, we have this guy who has played lots in the Premier League and played, once or twice for England or whatever. That seems fine to me. He's not Isaac Schmidt.
He's a big budget Sam Byram.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is.
I like Sam Byram, so that's fine.
Although the other night he wasn't great though, wasn't
Yeah.
he? But that's the problem with Byram on the left, isn't it? We had it last year that you don't get the kind of overlaps and stuff because he's a right-footed player.
Well, you're not playing Sam Byram for his attacking thrust, are you? You're playing him to stand in the right place. And
although on the right-hand side, he does provide some of that because I feel like he can go around the outside.
Well, he did play on the right
so.
the other night, but it was crap. But he had Brendan Aronson in front of him, which didn't help. So you had two players wanting to go backwards or something.
Yeah, that's true.
He scored a scissor kick last season, Byram.
Yeah.
He did. That is true. But yeah, having a left back up, I think like is reassuring because it's Goodmanson or no one in it really.
Yeah.
So and it means this presumably is going to mean that Schmidt leaves, which is probably sensible too because he's seemed pissed off for a good while.
I mean, he could have helped himself in pre-season, couldn't he? But that didn't really go to plan.
He helped Noah Okafor get a transfer.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, we might have Isaac Schmidt to blame for a few things come the end of the season. But yeah, I mean, Schmidt's a weird one because he was last season in the odd game we would draw or lose. He was like, "Get Schmidt in the team. Why is he not playing? Farker's not brave enough and all this." And it's like, it's fine. He was a reserve. We signed him as a reserve who can sort of play anywhere. He played mostly on the wing. You have these players in a squad. I dare say we've got some of these players in the squad currently. Like, if we actually get some money for him, or if it's a loan with an option, I don't know. But he's not going to play for Leeds, is he? So let him go play for someone else.
Yeah. And another person is obviously what's he called, Largy. Similar role. He was picked ahead of Largy on the wing because he couldn't trust Largy, and now then he decided he couldn't trust Schmidt, so he's just bombing them all out one after another.
Do you think that again, I'm sat in Dan's chair, so I'm going to say the word optics. Do you think the optics around Largy seemingly going to Valencia, do you think that with the complete lack of attacking thrust that we've seen over quite a lot of the season so far, is that adding to a fan base that is pissed off? Because you're getting rid of Largy whilst you've still got Aronson and still got Harrison in the building. I can understand why Daniel Farke would want those players instead of Largy because of their proclivity to want to defend a little bit more, but it's not very aspirational.
Do you not think part of the problem with that though is that other teams will want Largy Ramazani and nobody will want Brendan Aronson or Jack Harrison?
Yep.
I've not even thought of that.
That's entirely the issue. I mean, they're on big. Their salaries will be bigger than Ramazani's, I would imagine, and in the case of Aronson, we still can't afford to sell him at a loss, probably, can we, because of PSI. If we sell him for less than like 10 million, it'll probably show as we'll have to book it as a loss, won't we, I think?
Yeah. I mean, I like Ramazani. He's talented, he's fun, he's got some swagger and personality, which I think we massively lacked at Hillsborough. But at the same time, we probably need better than him anyway, in the same way we need better than Aronson and Harrison. So I don't think losing him is that concerning. That you want us to sign some better attackers, basically, and you would hope Okafor after a few games will look much better than that. Likewise, Nonto, still to find his groove, Dan James, but we know they can play well. So, yeah, Ramazani's fun, but ultimately teams will want him, and it feels like Leeds have to do a bit of trading at the end of this window. So if teams want him, and he still probably wouldn't play that much anyway, it makes sense, I guess.
Yeah, it's going to be a big few days, and when you guys were talking then, it just keeps coming back to this idea that when you're promoted to the Premier League, you can't turn your squad over quick enough to comfortably compete, and that's very frustrating. Because, like you said, is Ramazani good enough for where we want to be in the Premier League? There's no evidence of that necessarily yet, and so yeah, he's probably got to go. And I never thought about the pure business of it. Who wants Aronson and Harrison? And who can afford them versus Largy? And it's blown my mind.
Well, I suspect both Leeds and their players, stroke their agents, certainly in Harrison's case, will have been trying to find moves. And clearly there are none there.
Yep.
So,
well, Aronson did leave and nobody wanted him after that. So
no, he chose to come back because of his granddad said something to him.
Yeah, apart from the interviews a couple of months earlier from that when he said, "Oh yeah, I'm keeping my options open."
he kept his options up until he spoke to his granddad.
Right, yes.
Who then said he should go back to Leeds and underwhelm.
Well, someone who has left Leeds United is Sam Greenwood. Predictably, they were clearly looking for a new club for him, but a very unpredictable club. Do we know how to say this with any confidence, or shall I just launch in?
No, you go for it.
Go for it, Dean. You get cancelled.
Pogan Szczecin. We having that?
Yeah.
Sounds all right.
Polish team. Fee is apparently €4 million, which is a good deal. Yeah, I think you'd shake on that.
Seems a lot.
He's the most expensive player in that division's history.
Is he really?
Which is...
I saw it was a club record. Is it in the division's
I believe
history?
it's a league record as
Bloody
well.
hell.
I mean, so this club nearly went bankrupt in March or something.
Oh, still time.
And they were saved by this Canadian investor, who I believe might have been involved in Hull previously. But the fact he's Canadian makes me wonder if he was chatting to Jesse Marsh, obviously Canada manager, and Marsh has gone, you need a deep lying midfielder. I know exactly the guy for you.
Yeah.
But I was looking at Greenwood since he signed a 4-year deal in 2022 under Marsh and Victor Orta. He played fewer than 10 games worth of minutes for Leeds. So really great value out of that. But actually to get £3.5 million or whatever out of it seems extraordinary, quite frankly.
You do wonder how his new salary is compared to his Leeds salary, and if any of the fee ends up being used as a make good on that or whatever, because he was on him and Joffrey both got pretty good Premier League contracts, didn't they, apparently, and then proved themselves to not really be Premier League players at all.
Yeah.
But anyway, we seem like to have not lost money on him, which is, I guess, something of an achievement.
It is, yeah.
And we can still hold it against him, though, that he kept Jesse Marsh in a job, probably scoring that goal against Bournemouth.
I know, it's a great goal that as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, really good finish.
Him and Somerville scoring the winner at Anfield, kept him in.
Traitors, the two of them.
Yep. Someone else who is maybe on the way out is Ilan Meslier. He's clearly been looking for a club, or people have been looking for clubs with him. He was given the number 16 shirt, which is a hell of a downgrade from that old number 1. He's been linked with PSG. I've not seen this, but it's on the prep sheet. PSG.
That's what I did. Why?
Yeah. Is he going to be there, Alex Cairns? Just a younger version?
Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe. Someone that can just keep on the books for a decade who never plays.
Wasn't there stories a few years ago that PSG wanted him for like 30 mil?
Yeah.
So maybe we just got that email back up and said, yes, please.
Yeah. Just replying to it again.
Yep.
Is they still on the table, the 30 mil, or no? Do you want him at all for the under? Do you have a Checkatrade trophy in France? He could play in that maybe as the senior player. He needs to go. I'd be surprised if it's PSG. It's fair to say he wouldn't be going to PSG as a first choice. But
No. I mean, Leeds can't have their third choice goalkeeper wearing the number 16.
No.
That's not a proper number to give to a reserve goalie.
Do you know the number? Do you know what number Alex Cairns wears?
Have they bothered giving him one?
No, I don't. Actually.
I saw it on a programme. I think it was the end of last season.
Is he in the 30s?
I think he's number 21.
Oh, is he? Oh, you both. Great heritage. Good heritage, the 21 shirt.
But again, that's not a goalkeeper number.
No.
I'm going 1, 13, 32-ish. Something like that.
13 is definitely
There's your subkeeper.
that's the officially approved subkeeper number, which is weird because why was it that? Why wasn't it 12?
Because the first sub
When it was one
was
sub
12.
Oh, okay. And then
And that's probably an outfield player.
Yeah. Strangely structured though.
Ball knowledge. Right. So yeah, maybe Mellier's going. We've been linked with a lot of players. How much of this is true or is just agent chat? I have no idea. We were talking about this guy on the show the other day as an example of why Red Bull football is bad. Timo Werner. Do we fancy Timo Werner?
No.
Have we not got enough strikers that don't really score goals?
Yeah.
So we want someone who can run around and achieve nothing. It's
Yeah.
like, is he behind Harrison? Is he behind Aronson?
Brendan Aronson for that, yeah.
It's like we've got Timo Werner equivalents.
Yeah, I mean, if it says reports from Germany suggesting us and Burnley are in for him. Burnley needs some strikers, I would argue, or some players up there. So do we just want to make sure we weaken them, take him, put him in our reserve?
I'm not going to say weaken them by letting them have it.
I was going to say
all that.
He's got like twice or something on loan at Spurs last year.
Rubbish. We'll be on a fortune.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
It'd just be another winger that we don't, winger stroke striker, but not a physical striker, just something else we don't really need.
Fair enough. Let's stay with Spurs flops, Manor Solomon. More links this week. What do we think? Has it got to that point? You were saying, Rob, before about this idea of us having lists of players we wanted and we're just scratching. Have we got to the Manor Solomon button now? Do we hit that? What do you think?
I mean, I suspect at the start of the summer they probably were open to getting him back. But then we signed Okafor. Do we need another left winger that would maybe be fine at this level? But
if we can offload, well, Harrison or Aronson, I would be happy to have Solomon back.
He's a decent player. I wouldn't be like too disappointed to see him in the lead shirt again, but it's like...
Depends what we can do as well. If we can get him back on some sort of a loan again, without it, but we've got to accept we've got limited money here, and I don't think a left winger should be anywhere near the top of the list for spending that. So he can come back for free.
All right.
That'd be nice. He was good last year. He was probably our best player for the last part of the season.
Yeah.
And having seen us the other night, yes, I would like him back, but I don't know.
Farke's spoken in his pre-Arsenal presser, I think it was, about wanting a winger who's more like a number 10 almost, which I think we just desperately needs, like a creative midfielder, a bit of a playmaker. Is Solomon that? He's kind of silky. He's not like a pacey Dan James type. He is a bit more silky, but then he never really played him as a number 10, did he? Did he try it once or something last season?
I'm not sure he ever did. I think he experimented with Nonto there, didn't he?
Did he do it against Harrogate or something? But again, didn't exactly star against Harrogate. So you think is that what we need in the Premier League? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I was thinking this when we were talking about James Justin before. If this week had gone better, people aren't complaining about James Justin being brought in because it just feels eminently sensible. If we'd had a better 8 days, you would be thinking, oh yeah, we saw a lot of Manor Solomon last year. This could work. This would be maybe a nice addition squad wise, but it just feels a little bit uninspiring, I think, at this point.
And if we've got Okafor as well, we literally already signed a left winger who is presumably meant to be starting games for us. You would think, unless we see him as a striker eventually.
Yeah, or a 10. Apparently, he can play anywhere across the old.
And also Solomon's been injured all pre-season, hasn't he? Like
is he?
Yeah, he's
doing that again, is he?
Yeah, because I Spurs put out a tweet like a week or two ago saying he was back in training. So you're like, oh, okay, so he's not really been playing. So again, we're in the same position as Calvert-Lewin, where you introducing someone who maybe won't play for a few weeks.
Yeah. Another winger we've been linked with across the window is Delane Bakwa, Strasbourg winger. Forest have been in the mix and I've had a £30 million bid rejected. I've seen some highlights. He looks really good. He had a good season last season. Is this our Pacquiao distraction?
It feels like we're not going to get him. There are just other teams there. Because there are teams of around. Was Fulham in for him as well at some point, I saw. It feels like he'll probably just end up going somewhere else for a bit more than what we're willing to pay, which I don't know.
You just want to know what the big idea is here this summer with the 49ers, although I suppose you suspect it was Rodrigo Muniz and Pacquiao, and we're not going to get any of them. So how low down the list do we end up come deadline day? I don't know.
Does the list include Kobbie Mainoo?
Someone linked him yesterday. I mean, if he wants to come,
yeah,
he can. But does he want to go from one relegation battle to another, etc.? Yes, I would have him.
I would absolutely have him. Would you have him for the money that he's been linked with?
I think we should offer £8 million for him.
Yeah, I'll go $5,000 a week.
I'll go like a bit early 90s, offer like 2.75 million.
Yeah,
nice. And a player,
an amount that will confuse them, and they'll be like, oh. Maybe. I don't know.
We paid, was it 7.2 for decor? I'm trying to think of the back of the shirt that held up. Maybe we offer that.
I mean, we could do with another midfielder now, couldn't we? Given Ampadu and Tanaka are both out for a bit. I feel like they're being deliberately non-specific on Tanaka's injury.
After the international break. Which one?
2028.
Yeah. There's one in September, one October, and one November, isn't there?
Yeah. So after one of those, he'll be back.
And like the other night, it was another game that was desperate for Tanaka, just someone who can actually pass the ball forwards. So get another midfielder in. Well, we've wanted a number 10 for since Pablo left, haven't we, essentially? I know we had that guy Rafinha did a different creative job for a while and he was fine, I suppose. But yeah, since then we have lacked.
Well, let's think if we play 3 midfield against Newcastle, they are our only 3 central midfielders, aren't they?
Yeah.
So that is, again, slightly worrying.
Yes. So, Kobbie, if you're listening, drop all your demands and turn up for
ambition.
Ambition. We'll shake on it for $5 million. Yep.
Yeah. Sounds good to me.
Sorted it. Right.
They'd have to take a pay cut as well.
Oh, a huge pay cut. Yeah.
Yeah, because they'll have paid him like 250 grand a week or something stupid, don't they?
But the sweetener here is you'll actually play
True.
because he's not getting a look over there.
It'd be a great opportunity for him.
Yeah, so it'll be good exposure.
Yeah, exactly.
So we're going to talk about the magazine. So we're back at home, back at Ellen Road on Saturday against Newcastle Magazine. The first issue of this season will be sold outside the ground. Rob, our editor, is going to talk us through an article that he has written for this issue. Which article would you like to talk about today?
Well, before we get to that, I'll just say, coming off the back of an embarrassing defeat at Hillsborough, there's a short bit where I have admitted that the last Leeds kit I paid full price for was the awful gold piss away kit that we got beat 6-0 at Hillsborough in which Jason Pearce wore with the tag still hanging out the back, which I've never worn since that day, I would say as well. And looking forward to Newcastle. There's a nice picture of Gianni Alioski looking quite confused at Steve Bruce as well, which is, we wrote about that game when we beat them in our first season back in the Premier League under Bielsa, just to include that photo. But the big article I wrote was about the 02-03 season and Mark Viduka in the blue and yellow away shirt, which we have obviously aped this season. Because it's when we released that kit this year, really nice kit, loved the video, great to see Mark Viduka back behind a bar. I would love to go to that bar. But then you think back to that time, you think, well, that's actually quite a weird... I mean, we wore it for 2 seasons, didn't we? The first season was slightly happier, I guess, albeit it was all the beginning of the unravelling. But yeah, it's quite a strange time to almost pay homage to in a shirt. And Viduka in that kit as well. I was researching it, and a remarkable season, really, because he was just pissed off at everything and angry at everything. Start of the summer where he just got married and he was expecting his first kid, I think, and talking Leeds up as title challengers. And Terry Venables is here, and he'd worked with him with Australia, and it was all very exciting. And before long, he was falling out with Venables and getting dropped to the reserves. He was having a bust up with Danny Mills in the dressing room after a League Cup defeat at Sheffield United. He was giving interviews in Australia saying he'd not really spoken to Harry Kewell in 2 years. He was slagging off Harry Kewell's agent, Bernie Mandich, who was previously Viduka's agent, but I think they'd fallen out. And Viduka was accusing Mandich of lobbying the Australia manager to make Harry Kewell the national team captain ahead of Paul Ocon, which Viduka was disgraced with. And then, Venables got sacked. Peter Reid came in. And I think Peter Reid just kind of indulged Viduka a little bit. Like there was a game where, I think there was a week where Viduka had turned up late for training, and then maybe the game itself. And Peter Reid had just given him a bollocking basically, but then said, go out and score some goals. And he did. And at the end of that season, actually, Viduka is phenomenal. And it was Eddie Gray who often joked that he just used to wind up Viduka before a game to get the best out of him, particularly when he was facing Martin Keown. And I think, by that point, Viduka was so fucked off at everything, basically. He'd reached boiling point and just went mental, scoring goals. I think at the end of that season, it's the best return of his Leeds career, like the best form of his Leeds career. And it all culminates in that game at Arsenal.
Yeah. Happy times at Arsenal.
As a club that's had many, many narky seasons, that's got to be one of the narkiest. Like everyone falling out with everybody, like complete disconnect between management and ownership, the players and the management, the players and the ownership. Like basically everyone hated each other. And as I said, the season started was thinking we might do something this year, and ended with like, oh, we're in actually quite a lot of trouble, and getting bailed out. Not quite last minute, but pretty close to it.
Very close, yeah. And it's mad looking back. It's only 20 years ago or whatever, and we think of football as modern football as like this very media trained. Nobody says anything interesting, and even back then, everyone's just in the media slagging each other off very, very openly. Like Viduka just is always in the papers criticising the manager, criticising the ownership, criticising his teammates, and just falling out with everyone. But at the same time, he, even as Leeds are really spectacularly unravelling, he's always like, no, I want to stay, I want to sort this out, I want to help, which he does in the end, while everyone else is kind of deserting the club. So I think you can understand why that Arsenal goal and Viduka himself now are still so cherished.
Yeah, 100%. My abiding memory of that goal is who he immediately celebrates with, Simon Johnson. And it's just two Leeds players who obviously occupied the same squad, but occupy such a different level of appreciation within the fan base, and how that could have been so different. That we have a rich heritage of ruining Arsenal's day, and I really like that happened at that time with Viduka, especially away, because there was obviously a few years before. Hasselbank stooped with a diving header to deny Arsenal the title, and this one happened as well away. And yeah, a really strange time, especially when you link it against what we were doing a couple of years before, when 3, 4, 5 seasons ago, when Rafinha and Harrison saved us from relegation. That was probably part of that. We were probably expecting that in that season. Whereas this season, like you said, there was so much turmoil going into the season, thinking we were going to be champions. And I hadn't thought of it until you said it just now, Rob. It is a strange shirt to want to canonise.
Well, we got rid of O'Leary for finishing 5th.
Yeah,
because that was unacceptable, and we wanted Champions League football.
That's what I mean. It's strange to put them together.
Yeah, and then Venables comes in and came in with it's worth saying at the time, came in with a very good reputation still from Euro 96, which is a bit weird now. I don't know if that was because Euro 96 felt like such a big national event, it had managed to hold a certain level of prestige still. Because that is essentially what people were going on, was that he'd once made like Shearer and Sheringham play well together. And then he was like, well, he'll do this at Leeds. And
it didn't bode well that the summer he was appointed, he missed the start of pre-season because he was doing a TV show, like a travel programme or something.
Yeah.
It's like, I'll meet you in the Far East after the first couple of games, I think. Which and then that summer, it's, Lee Bowyer's meant to be going to Liverpool for 9 million, and that collapses. And then come the January's, was it his last Leeds game where he got sent? We stamped on that Malaga player's head, and then he leaves for West Ham in January for like a couple of $100,000 or whatever. And Woodgate's getting sold. Well, Venables is sat there next to Peter Ridsdale, sort of absolutely fuming, and Venables is falling out with Decor and Batty, and yeah, it's a ridiculous season. Very Leeds United that season. Looking back at it all.
Yeah, it's weird because obviously Terry Venables passed away last year before, something like that. So there was a bit of a rewriting of his time at Leeds, and you can look at it sympathetically in one way, but then you also you get him telling Nigel Martin he has to go on a pre-season tour, having just got back from a World Cup where he's not kicked the ball, but he's also not seen his family for a few weeks, while Venables himself is busy filming A Place in the Sun or whatever it was. It's not a great start, is it? And Venables also that season is when he pushes Martin aside, doesn't he? And we end up with Paul Robinson, who a good young goalkeeper, but probably never of the level of Nigel Martin across his career. So yeah, it was the start of many bad things, was that?
Yeah, not a lot of great decision making from Leeds and the higher ups there.
Nice away kit though.
Great goal at Arsenal,
and a great goal at Arsenal, and a great decision that you can make, the listener, especially if you're down at Ellen Road on Saturday, is to pick up the magazine. If you're on the video version, you'll see me holding it up. This is the article that we've just been talking about, written by Rob's fair hand, The Angry Duke. Well worth picking up and having a look. Where can we find the sellers if people are going down to Ellen Road on Saturday?
The Lowfields Tunnel.
Who might be there?
I think I am.
Yeah. TBD.
We'll see. Lowfields Tunnel, someone around the statue club shop sort of area, and then someone around the middle of the stand as well, where there's an advert on a light.
Right. How did the price?
That.
I don't think I've asked you this. How did the price rise go? Were there riots? Were people spitting in your face?
Yeah, a lot of violence. Yeah. Luckily, I'm dead hard, so I was just beat everyone up. But yeah, £3. Sorry. One guy insisted on giving me £20 and didn't want any change.
Bloody hell!
I know. He was like, "No, you have it." Good
man.
That's £20.
Fucking hell! Was it Elon Musk?
Some millionaires knocking around.
Unbelievable. Right, yeah. Thank you, Rob, for that little look into the magazine. Okay, part 2 of the update. This might be a little bit of a struggle. We're going to talk about our likes and dislikes from the past 7 days of Leeds United.
Gus, do you want some player ratings?
Go on, then.
It's been an interesting week.
Are we starting with Arsenal?
We'll start with that. We'll start with the good ones. Arsenal.
A 5-0 defeat, the good ones.
It's been a good week for Jayden Bogle.
2 Man of the Match awards,
I suppose. Not a good week for goalkeepers.
No.
It was Perry. What did he get for Arsenal? He got 3.38, which sounds terrible. But I looked back. It's better than Meslier was against Sunderland, Preston, Hull and Swansea. And it's turned out it's better than Darlow against Sheffield Wednesday.
Which was
One. Let's have a little look, shall we?
1.5. Oh no, sorry, it wasn't.
1.65.
Oh, so that was better than Meslier against Swansea.
Yeah, so Meslier against Swansea was 1.59.
Yeah.
1.65 for Darlow. But although you do think probably that margin of difference is probably due to the gravity of the game.
Yes.
And Swansea felt a bit like this might be us throwing away promotion, whereas this was just like, don't do that, Carl.
I must admit, actually, I was quite late updating the team sheet for the Sheffield Wednesday player ratings, and I didn't remember until about 1 a.m. when I was sat at home quite drunk because I'd gone home and I was like, I need a big drink right now.
Yeah, I mean, Leeds United turning people to drink since 1919.
Yeah, the Sheffield Wednesday game brought some low points, actually. Pirro got a lower score than at any point last season. He got 2.52. He got 2.89 was his lowest of last year. Brendy was 2.53. His lowest last year was 2.58 away at Portsmouth. Gruev's was also a low of last year against Portsmouth, and he got a 3.52 this time around. So a sort of a two-season low for three of the players.
Calvert-Lewin and Longstaff also in the twos as well, which is great for Longstaff on his full debut and Calvert-Lewin on his debut.
Yeah, I mean, as we discussed in the first part of the show, only Willie Nonto and Jane Bogle came out with anything that is vaguely respectable, 5.9 and a 6.7 for the Sheffield Wednesday game. Arsenal, those are quite high, I would suggest, for a 5-0. You know, there's two players in the fives, an awful lot of players in the fours. Should we just move past these? Because there's not a lot to pick out of this. It's kind of the evidence of your eyes. In fact, the thing that I'm getting from reading this is that against Arsenal, people are trying to, our TSB Plus members who submit the ratings for this, seem to trying to be looking slightly more favourably, whereas against Sheffield Wednesday, all of these scores scream of fuck off.
Yeah, basically. The subs get away with it.
Yeah, just rage scoring people.
Well, the subs get away with it apart from Calvert-Lewin.
Yeah.
Who gets absolutely banned.
Jack Harrison, the highest rated starter against Sheffield Wednesday.
We need to change that.
Well, it says more about the rest of them, doesn't it, I think?
Was Harrison all right? He was left back, wasn't he? I'd kind of forgotten that.
He was Jack Harrison, wasn't he?
He did a bit of running around. He held his hands in the air at corners. What more do you expect? He overhit a few crosses. It's Jack Harrison.
There was a few all right crosses, but for every one cross he does that's all right, there are 12 others.
I've just remembered from the away end, in fact. His reception was fine. He wasn't getting booed or anything. But then he overhit a cross and your mum's a cunt and so are you kicked off.
Jesus Christ.
And I was like, okay, it's one of those evenings.
It's one of those with Harrison though as well. Like whenever we got a corner or a free kick, I'm like, Jack, just step away. Yeah. You don't have to take it. People are just going to get angry at you.
Yeah.
At least him and Brendan Aronson have stopped doing them together. Yeah. Because that was a Marsh thing, wasn't it? They'd come over and they'd have a little word with each other, whispering each other's ear. And then one of them would put one or both hands in the air and then we'd just kick it to someone at the near post or whatever, and it'd be like, well done, lads.
They'd be stood there going, over the top or the first man?
Can you kick it hard? No, I can't. No. Right, well, I can kick it too hard, and you can't kick it very hard at all. So, I don't know. Who wants to take it?
Who gets there first?
What are you having for tea?
Yeah, our free kicks against Sheffield Wednesday as well. Bloody hell.
Yeah,
that Gruev one.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Not great. Well, this is probably going to have quite a lot of suggestions. So let's do our Ken Bates villain of the week. Who have we got? Who do we want to throw in there? Michael?
Who do we throw completely under the bus? Farker? Yeah. People have not been impressed. It's been a very, very bad week for him, I would say.
Yeah, it has. That interview really annoyed me as well. I mean, just looking at the feedback this is from the Arsenal game, Dan James Platform Shoes, Lucas Perry, League One's best shot stopper last year, looking genuinely surprised Arsenal were allowed to kick it at him all game. Leeds.
Yeah. I'm willing to forgive him a bit. I even tried to create excuses for him by going back and watching highlights of Saka's other goals. Mm-hmm. And he does score from there a fair bit, from that pretty much that exact spot.
Yeah.
So it is difficult.
I mean, Zach Connolly, after the Arsenal game, he nominated for villain the meltdown by some of the cowards who didn't see something like this happening at some stage. Toughen up a bit, you wet wipes. Zach is a relatively new contributor to the magazine. Very, very good as well over in Australia. And I did wake up to a message for him on Wednesday morning saying, no, basically I have pissed the bed now as well myself.
Yeah. The Premier League, just as a concept, just for being like tough and that.
I didn't much like the League Cup either. If we can throw that in there.
That's a really tough competition against children.
I enjoyed Dicko's. It took 181 minutes of football for my rampant and completely rational hatred of American man-child Aronson to return with a vengeance. He has no redeemable qualities. And if I hear someone say he runs a lot, I cannot be held accountable for my actions.
I mean, was it only last week we were given the Hero of the Week award to Leeds United as a collective?
Yes.
Do we just give the Villain of the Week to Leeds United as a collective a week on?
It's probably fair that they all
cop for it. Yeah. And that's got to include the new signings who didn't cover themselves in glory. Calvert-Lewin could have had a hat-trick and then a penalty and had none of it.
Even Biol tripped over the ball at one point, didn't he?
Yeah.
I must admit, after the game, I was like, if we sack the manager or sell any of these players, including the ones that we've just signed, I am not bothered.
Yeah. So Ken Bates Villain of the Week award goes to Leeds United Football Club.
I mean, Darlow probably needs a nomination because if he just does anything really with that, we don't lose that game, and we haven't seen the level of meltdown we have.
Would we have scored?
Yeah, probably, because I think we'd have.
I think we've been very kind.
We'd have done. It'd have eventually brought the subs on, and we'd have scored.
I mean, watching the game in the studio, we were all like quite up for Sheffield Wednesday scoring just for something to happen, and it might jolt us. And then, but the way Darlow conceded that, it was like.
All right, so are we going to revise it? It's not Leeds United now. It's Caldalo, or maybe just.
I think he just needs a special mention.
Yeah, no, give it Leeds United
because that is one of. Is that as bad as any of Melior's last year as an individual error? It probably is, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Much lower stakes, but still, fucking hell,
it's bad.
Yeah,
it's
up there with the Sunderland one, isn't it?
Yeah. In just like the most basic of things to deal with.
Yeah, it wasn't exactly fizzed in either. It's from an angle like just stop the ball.
Even if he defended it like someone going in net at five-a-side and just booted it.
Yeah,
we should have been fine. If it just like that kind of upright, I'm not used to using my hands, so I'm just going to kick it.
Yeah.
Type of goalkeeping. He'd have kept a clean sheet if he'd have done that.
Someone who is reluctantly gone in net but doesn't have any gloves.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I'm not going to hurt my hands. Bang.
It'll sting. And I've got fragile wrists or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah.
All right. So it's Leeds United Football Club, but with a very special mention and a keen look towards Carl Darlow, a stern look towards Carl Darlow,
and probably Joel Pirro too. Fucking hell.
And children, the youth of today.
That's true.
That kid at Arsenal, and then a load of students in Sheffield. Fuck them all.
So, okay, right, there's a lot to cover. So it's Leeds United Football Club, a stern look towards Carl Darlow, and youth. A stern look towards the youth.
Yeah.
So are we anti-future here on the Square Ball podcast?
I was after Tuesday, yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right, but this is going to be tough, but we'll move on to the Gaetano Berardi Hero of the Week award. This is sponsored by the tuktukclub.com. Michael, tell us why you might want to go on a tuk-tuk tour of northern Thailand.
How long can these tours be? Do they do any that last 9 months or so?
Right.
Just see it right through?
Just to come back to see our glorious return to the championship.
That would be an option I might ask.
You can do, and we actually got a note from Bruce, who runs the Tuk Tuk Club. He is a Leeds United fan, and he said, we've still got a handful of spaces left for July and August 2026. The perfect way to forget the pain of relegation or celebrate the joy of staying up. So you can go over to northern Thailand and you can have a load of beers and look at elephants and be in jungle and do some jungle cookery whilst celebrating the fact that we scraped 17th above Manchester United Football Club.
You dreamer, you.
If you use the code TSB15 for 15% discount on your booking, get over there, have some adventures. Right. Likes, positives, heroes.
Jayden Bogle.
He took it to penalties though, didn't he? Bit annoyed at him for that.
At least, I mean, we should give some credit to whoever implemented the no extra time in the League Cup thing.
That's true. That's a very good shout. Actually.
Yeah. That would have been no one would have wanted that.
No. Grimsby Town Football Club.
No, that's true, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They gave us a giggle.
One. Yeah. They're probably over Jayden Bogle, because Bogle got quite one of the highest. Did he get the highest rating against Arsenal? He didn't he?
Yeah. Twice. So
but he still wasn't very good in it, was he?
5.6 he got.
He basically got booked really early.
Oh, yeah.
As well.
5.16
from what I remember.
He got subbed off, didn't he?
And then, is that what happened?
Sam Byron came.
Yeah, that was it, yeah. That's maybe why. Maybe he was off the pitch before we conceded the last couple or something. Was that it?
The last one.
Just the last one. Yeah, I don't think any players deserve it. because they were all part of it, weren't they?
Yeah.
Fraser nominates the Leeds fans at Arsenal, who were very, very good.
Yeah.
Did it turn on Tuesday night in Hillsborough? Did it get really toxic, or was it just, fuck off, Leeds?
Fairly toxic. I mean, when people are singing Pat Bamford songs,
Yeah.
because Calvert-Lewin's missing chances.
Was there any Bielsa?
There wasn't any Bielsa, actually.
That always seems to be the time when people are like, we're sick of you. And
Yeah. No, there was no Bielsa stuff, but yeah, there was a bit of calling for Pat Bamford or calling Calvert-Lewin Pat Bamford. I'm not. You can interpret it in a number of ways.
I was going to say, we've seen that performance from Pat Bamford many a time, haven't we?
Yeah. The one saving grace really was that there were no Sheffield Wednesday fans there to actually take the piss.
Yeah, to enjoy it.
Because they were just spread about a big stand. And I think that was probably half Leeds fans as well. The away end did sell out, didn't it? So
Yeah.
why didn't they give us the side?
Yeah.
They could have had some money.
It's just, sorry, I've just thought back to when Calvert-Lewin missed that penalty, blazed it over, and the camera cut to the Leeds away end and someone was just laughing his head off. That's the best way to get through
It's
it.
kind of all you can do.
Yeah.
It's kind of all you can do.
Do you know what? I've still not even seen it back properly, I don't think, that penalty. I think I've seen some fan footage of it from the Leeds end, but how over was it?
Oh, wow.
Very.
Was it?
I think it was like an over and wide sort of job.
Because penalties can look bad, but they can actually have missed the goal by a relatively short.
No.
It wasn't within like a foot of hitting the roof of the net and being perfect.
No.
And he kind of tried to do that thing where he sort of half looked to the ground as if there was a bobble or as if his standing foot had moved it, and then quickly decided, hold on, there's a lot of cameras on this. No one's going to buy this, and stopped.
I didn't go into the replies on his tweet where he just said,
Did he not turn them off? Or it was only people that followed him?
was it right?
Was certainly that way on Instagram.
Yeah, fair enough then.
I think that's the way to do it.
Yeah,
like,
you've
hold
got
your
to.
hands up, but then just be like, nah, I'm not reading this shit. Another post Sheffield Wednesday from Stu B was not much traffic to get in and away.
It was really light.
Really light. But if that's the fucking highlight of your days.
I was home earlier than I would be if I had stuck around to do the match ball.
Wow.
Nice.
In a different city.
Even though it was in Sheffield. Admittedly, it is Sheffield. It ain't far. But yeah, that was quite nice, really. Just thinking, I'm having good time here.
Grimsby Town?
I can go get home and watch the game again.
No, you didn't.
I didn't. I will never watch any of that game again.
Grimsby having this.
Yeah. A shout out for Amarim as well.
Yeah.
He's good fun.
And Onana
Oh, Nana.
as well, because he continues to be brilliant.
Yep, he gave them their second goal and then just decided to not save that last penalty from Grimsby.
He got his hands on loads of them, didn't he? It felt like.
Well, that last one in particular, 2 good hands on it. Nope, top corner.
He doesn't have 2 good hands. Let's face it.
2 half hands. So congratulations. The Gaetano Berardi Hero of the Week goes to Grimsby Town Football Club. And a good smiley stare towards Ruben Amorim, who is the gift that keeps on giving, but I fear for not much longer, gents.
I'm going to miss him.
Stick it out until the 3rd of January.
I saw what he was doing with
them.
them magnets, and I think I like what I see coming.
Yeah?
He was working on some stuff for the next game.
Kick it really hard?
It looks pretty good.
Does it?
He's got planned, yeah.
Who have they got?
Burnley.
Burnley.
I only know this because I was listening to them last night, and they were saying we're going to lose that. I'm very worried about Burnley, is what they were saying.
A tough relegation 6-pointer. Well, thank you, gents. Tomorrow, listen out for Bryn Law in the studio, who's going to preview Newcastle and give us his view
Trying
on
to be positive.
what's happened so far this season. And, of course, the match ball after Leeds United's triumphant or devastating delete where appropriate return to Ellen Road on Saturday. Thank you very much. Speak to you soon.
The Square Ball Podcast.